and healthy greetings to all of you. This is Dr. Srujana from Nutrition and Dietetics program, and I am here to discuss about management of COVID-19 among special populations that include pregnant women, lactating mothers and young children. We will first discuss about pregnancy. Pregnancy is one of the most beautiful phases in a woman's life, which indicates 40 miraculous weeks of the woman when the baby grows and nourishes inside her womb. This period of about 280 days is called as the gestational period, which is the time period between conception and birth. During this period, women undergo several changes and therefore extra care is needed to ensure the health of the pregnant woman and as well the fetus. But why to consider them under special populations during COVID-19 scenario? COVID-19, the coronavirus, is our time's defining global health problem and the greatest challenge we have encountered since so far. There are various categories of population who are considered as vulnerable or high risk, who are identified based on their physiological age or other comorbid factors or health status. Although there is no current data which shows that COVID-19 affects pregnant women differently from other individuals, it is known that pregnant women are at a larger risk of getting infected of viruses, especially related to respiratory system, than women who are not pregnant. Additionally, pregnancy is a particular challenge for the immune system of the woman, and it is associated with alterations in the functioning of the immune system. Therefore, during this COVID times, an abundance of caution is advised for pregnant women. Pregnant women must take the same precautions to avoid COVID-19 infection as other people and report possible symptoms, which includes fever, cough or difficulty in breathing to their healthcare provider. And even the healthcare providers should follow some of the guidelines in the present scenario. It is really important that the healthcare practitioner, that is the gynecologist, should immediately notify infection control personnel at their healthcare facility and their local or state health department in the event of persons under investigation for COVID-19 infection. The healthcare facility should maintain a registry for such cases of confirmed COVID-19 infections, and the maternal and neonatal records should be noted with complete details. For the regular health checkups, it is advisable to utilize the novel mode of services, that is telehealth, across as many aspects of prenatal care as possible. However, in case there is a need to check the pregnant woman physically and hospital visit is unavoidable, the doctor must take due care from their end too. Healthcare practitioners should promptly notify infection control personnel at their facility of the anticipated arrival of a pregnant patient who has confirmed COVID-19 so that infection control measures can be kept in place. If a pregnant woman meets criteria for COVID-19 testing, she should be tested. Until test results are available, she should be treated as though she has confirmed COVID-19 and therefore maintain all the necessary guidelines. However, do not delay obstetric management in order to test for COVID-19. If ultrasound equipment is used, it should be decontaminated after use. During all this process, staff providing the care should take personal protective equipment precautions as per the national guidance. But what are the precautions for a pregnant woman? For a pregnant woman, it is essential to note that during the pregnancy period, they must follow all the necessary precautions such as increase their physical distancing, wearing mask and sanitization to reduce the risk of infection, and practice hand hygiene. If the pregnant woman is infected with COVID-19, they are still most likely to have no symptoms or a mild illness from which they will usually make a full recovery. If they develop more symptoms or recovery is delayed, this may be a sign that woman is developing a more significant chest infection that requires enhanced care. And in such scenario, the maternity team should be contacted immediately. Also, there may be a need to reduce the number of antenatal visits. However, this must be decided by discussing with the doctor or the maternity care team. Now, let us quickly see what are the effects of COVID-19 on maternal and fetal health. In general, pregnant women with COVID-19 do not seem to display more severe disease symptoms than non-pregnant individuals. The physiological condition does not play a role in determining the severity of the infection. But during pregnancy, women undergo significant physiological and immunological alterations to support and protect the developing fetus. There are some scientific evidences which showed that the fluctuations in hormone levels are involved in weakening of the immune system during pregnancy. These changes can increase the risk of infection with respiratory viruses among pregnant individuals and their fetus. Thus, pregnant women may be at increased risk of infection with COVID-19 virus. Although adverse outcomes resulting from maternal infection with COVID-19 during pregnancy are infrequent, risks to them appear to increase during the last trimester of pregnancy. Pregnant women with heart disease are at a higher risk. Also, coexistence of obesity during the pregnancy may lead to immunocompromised state and cause increased risk. Coming to the health of the fetus, so far research do not support intrauterine infection with COVID-19 resulting from vertical transmission in pregnant women. So now let us see what is the nutrition requirement of a pregnant woman during COVID-19. Nutrition recommendations for pregnant women remain unchanged even during COVID-19. Good nutritional status associated with adequate intakes of macro and micronutrients is important. It is advised to consume at least 3 main meals with 1 nutritional snack in first trimester and 2 nutritional snack in second and third trimester. Various breakfast options can be chosen. Oat idlis with sambar, rava upma, dosa, uttapam, poha, stuffed parathas with variety of vegetables are some of the options. Healthy, unique and different styles of cooking can be opted while incorporating fresh vegetables. The next main meal, lunch, can include a portion of rotis made of multigrain flour to include cereals and millets in the diet. Ensure to include green leafy vegetables in every day's meal. They can be cooked in combination with pulses too. Ensure to have at least 2 to 3 different fresh vegetables in the meal. Include seasonal vegetables to gain optimum nutrition from them. Additionally, curd or buttermilk can also be taken in the meals. However, if the pregnant woman is expecting to gain excess weight, less fat or double toned milk can be used. Fresh salad can be consumed before the main meal or also in between the meals. Although snacking is not a main meal, it has great health benefits if proper nutritious snacks are consumed. It is really important to have mindful snacking during pregnancy. The type of snack and snacking pattern will also have effects on pregnant women's nutritional status. The best option is to include fresh fruits as a snack. Include seasonal fruits. Unless any specific reasons, all fruits can be consumed. It is best to consume fresh fruits in the same form rather than having them in the form of juices. Raw fruits contain both soluble and insoluble fiber, which are important in the diet. Also, one important point during this pandemic, or even otherwise, it is important to clean all the fruits or vegetables thoroughly with clean water before usage. Each meal must include one item from energy giving sources, that is cereals, fats, and sugars, one item from bodybuilding nutrients such as pulses, legumes, nuts, milk products, eggs, meat, fish, and poultry, and one protective foods which includes variety of vegetables and fruits. In the energy giving foods, apart from cereals, millets can also be included. Millets are high in nutrition and dietary fiber. They serve as good source of protein, micronutrients and phytochemicals. Also, millets are linked to lower risk of heart disease. The dietary fiber in them can help to control the bad cholesterol that can contribute to various heart diseases such as atherosclerosis. Therefore, including millets can prevent numerous lifestyle disorders. Besides, fruits and vegetables can be a great source of various vitamins and minerals. They are high in dietary fiber, micronutrients such as vitamin A, vitamin C, magnesium, potassium, sodium, and many more essential nutrients. Consumption of fruits and vegetables is an excellent way to check upon the excess gestational weight gain, as they can help in achieving early satiety. Fruits and vegetables should make up around one third of what we eat each day. They are a very important part of healthy and balanced diet. The pregnant woman must continue daily dose of micronutrient supplements including iron and calcium as suggested by the healthcare provider. It is essential to check their status during the pregnancy period and seek appropriate advice for low or high gestational weight and severe anemia. Pregnant women must stay hydrated. Consumption of 8 to 10 glasses of water or fluids in a day is advisable. Intake of caffeine, alcohol, tobacco, and other addictive substances should be completely restricted, as they are harmful for the developing fetus and also have a negative influence on the immunity. Consumption of non-vegetarian food during the pandemic time is still speculative. However, if the individual prefers consuming non-vegetarian food, they should continue to eat the same. It does not increase the risk of COVID-19 infection, but it is essential to ensure that the non-vegetarian food is thoroughly cooked, preferably using a pressure cooker. Few quick guidelines while storing and cooking non-vegetarian food before consumption. It is essential to store the meat in correct temperature. This keeps it safe from going stale and does not allow any microbes to attack the meat. Do not consume raw meat. Also, do not keep cooked food in the open for more than 2 hours. Keep it in fridge where it will be more safe. And store the meat separately in a well conditioned package. Maintain distance between raw and cooked meat. This is very necessary because raw foods such as eggs, meat, poultry products, seafood, fish may contain many harmful bacteria or viruses infecting the cooked meat if kept together. There are some microorganisms present on these foods that can spoil freshly cooked food too. Further, it is important to understand that no food can be designated as superfood to prevent or cure COVID during pregnancy. Although there are several foods that are rich in antioxidant nutrients, including vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A, iron, protein, zinc, selenium, omega 3 and omega 6 fatty acids, which are known to boost the immunity. Therefore, it is essential to include dark green leafy vegetables, foods high in vitamin C, and yellow orange fruits and vegetables in their daily diet. The omega 3 and 6 fatty acid rich foods, including oils such as safflower, sunflower, corn, and also soya bean, can be used. Pregnant women can include herbs, spices, condiments such as garlic, ginger, black pepper, turmeric, cloves, basil, which are very much present in Indian kitchens. Herbal teas can be made using any one or combination of these herbs. These nutritious ingredients are rich in antioxidants, minerals and vitamins. They help to boost immune system, fight against respiratory complaints, aids digestion, reduce inflammation and lowers the blood pressure. However, herbs must be used judiciously. As a snack, they can opt for a healthy choice of nuts, including almonds, walnuts, seeds of safflower, sunflower, pumpkin, and also any food preparations with dry coconut, sesame seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, poppy seeds, and mustard seeds. Not only checking upon nutrition, pregnant women must handle the ongoing stress during this period. It is important to note that pregnancy itself is a stage of psychological and physiological stress. Especially in the present conditions, fear and anxiety due to COVID-19 outbreak coupled with body stage can be overwhelming and can cause strong emotions. Therefore, pregnant women should consume foods which play a role in improving the mood, anxiety, sleep, energy levels and appetite, and also provide optimal levels of neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Hence, pregnant women should consume foods rich in omega 3 fatty acids, folic acid, vitamin B12 and B6. Omega 3 fatty acid rich foods are fish, flax seeds, walnuts. Also, fish, rajma, soya bean, spinach, broad beans, mustard leaves, beetroot, and ripe mango are excellent sources of folic acid. Vitamin B12 are found more in milk, egg, chicken, and salmon fish, while rohu fish, whole lentils, and black gram, French beans, banana, sunflower seeds, walnuts, drumstick leaves are rich sources of folic acid. Another important thing during these times is family support. Family behavior and attitude towards the pregnant woman should be pleasant and encouraging. Family should ensure provision of healthy diet and timely visits to health facility whenever required. Avoid delay in contacting medical facility when labor starts or in case of a complication. If the individual has any symptoms of COVID-19, they should be immediately taken to the medical facility. Adequate finance and transport should be arranged beforehand, and safe transport is a must during these times. Also, if needed, a blood donor should be identified for any unforeseen emergencies. There are some myths regarding foods to be eaten or avoided during pregnancy which needs to be clarified. The first myth is regarding the consumption of papayas, mangoes, or pineapple with a misconception that they can cause miscarriage. However, the fact is, moderate consumption of these fruits provide essential nutrients like vitamin A, C, and therefore confer many health benefits. It is a myth that spicy foods should be completely avoided and they can cause eye deformities in child or induce early labor or can cause abortion. It is important to know that spicy food can increase a pregnant woman's risk of heartburn and therefore its intake can be reduced. It is also believed by some that turmeric consumption can cause abortion, but the truth is turmeric is rich in antioxidants and also helps in digestion and boost immunity. Many women have wrong misconception that consumption of caffeine can lead to abortion and that the infant's skin can be dark. But this is not true, and caffeine can be consumed in moderation, that is about 1 or 2 servings a day. Also, many believe that consumption of non-vegetarian foods including eggs, meat and fish may harm the fetus, but the fact is these foods are rich sources of protein, B vitamins, good fats and iron, the nutrients which are very much needed during pregnancy. The other popular myth is that the consumption of coconut or fibrous foods can make the baby hairy. However, there is no scientific evidence for this, and these foods are rich in various vitamins and minerals. The common myth is that the growing fetus needs more food, so consume the food for 2 during pregnancy. The fact is, during pregnancy, a healthy balanced diet having proteins, fiber, carbohydrates is important. Increase in calories is not needed. Apart from these myths, there are many speculations regarding the consumption of packed foods. While at present there is no evidence of foods or food packaging being associated with the transmission of coronavirus, it can be possible that one can become infected by touching the surface or object contaminated by the virus and then touching their face. Therefore, it is essential to take extra precaution for food hygiene while purchasing, storage and cooking. It is advisable for the pregnant woman to avoid going to malls or supermarkets to purchase food commodities. They can seek help of others or opt for online mode delivery of these essential goods to avoid these crowded places. But sanitation is a must before using any of these commodities. Also, when we talk about packed foods, it is important to note that ready to eat or processed foods must be avoided. They may contain more amounts of preservatives or salt or sodium or any other chemical ingredients that may be harmful. Therefore, include more fresh produce than processed foods. Also, pregnant women need to be physically active. Exercising is vital during this period. They need to do at least 20 to 25 minutes of physical activity every day. Due to hormonal imbalance, huge anxiety is usually seen among them. So, pranayam and meditations before sleep is found to be useful. They can also indulge in some antenatal yoga in the early mornings. Equal importance must be given to rest. It is advised to have adequate rest, that is for about 2 hours in the day and sleep for 8 hours at night. Lie on your left side as it increases the blood supply to the fetus. Avoid hard work such as lifting heavy weights. Do not overexert yourself and delegate few tasks to others too. Adequate rest gives you physical and mental relaxation, which is good both for the pregnant woman and the growing fetus. Research suggests emotional eating can occur in pregnant women and may elevate during COVID-19 pandemic, especially in women living in a severely affected areas and who had lower physical activity levels. Emotional eating and food cravings are associated with excess gestational weight gain. Psychological counseling during regular pregnancy check or online counseling can help women cope with and release stress and also to manage occasional emotional eating, especially in the areas severely impacted by COVID-19 and the lockdown policy. Nutrition education and intervention are essential to encourage a more balanced diet in pregnancy. If the pregnant women have any conditions such as low or excess body weight or other health conditions like diabetes mellitus or heart related disorders, it is essential to have a personalized nutrition plan. It is advisable to the pregnant woman that during food cravings, choose a nutritious option. Cravings for salty, spicy, or sweets are common, but pregnant women must choose the food wisely. Include healthy foods to get down the cravings. Now, before we go to the next topic, let me give you a quick quiz. Can you tell me how long is the gestational period? Is it 30 weeks, 35 weeks, or 40 weeks? The correct answer is 40 weeks. Health risks for pregnant women appear to be highest during which trimester? First, second, or third trimester? The correct answer is third trimester. Tell me whether the following is true or false. Obesity and pregnancy have no effect on immune function and thus will not increase the risk of COVID-19. This statement is false. Pregnant women who are obese tend to have lowered immune functioning and therefore they may be at an increased risk to COVID-19. Now, few questions related to nutrition. Daily intake of iron, folic acid and calcium is recommended during pregnancy. Is the statement true or false? The statement is true. It is recommended that the pregnant woman must take nutrients such as iron, folic acid and calcium which are good for the pregnant woman and fetus health also. Non-vegetarian food should not be preferred during pregnancy. Is the statement true or false? This statement is false. Non-vegetarian food can be taken by the pregnant woman safely. Can you tell me which of the following are good sources of vitamin B12 nutrient? A. Milk, B. Egg, C. Fish, or D. All of the above? The correct option is D. All of the above. Milk, egg, and fish are rich sources of vitamin B12. The foods that are rich in folic acid. Your options are fish, soya bean, spinach, or all of the above. The correct option is all of the above. Fish, soya bean, and spinach are good sources of folic acid. What do you think? Consumption of turmeric causes miscarriage? Is this a myth or a fact? It is a myth. Turmeric does not cause miscarriage. Should woman eat for two when she is pregnant? Yes or no? No. A pregnant woman need not eat for two, but it is important that she consumes a balanced and healthy diet. Emotional eating and less physical activity are associated with more weight gain during pregnancy. Is the statement true or false? Yes, it is true. Emotional eating and also less physical activity can cause excess weight gain. I hope you could answer these questions rightly. Now let us continue about lactation period which comes after pregnancy. After the delivery of the infant, the pregnant woman enter into the lactation phase where she has to feed the newborn infant, and again certain fears regarding the safety of the newborn comes up during this COVID times. In the lactation period, the mother is in direct contact with the infant because the newborn baby must be breastfed. Breastfeeding is the cornerstone of the infant's survival, nutrition and development, and also for the maternal health. The World Health Organization recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life, followed by continued breastfeeding with appropriate complementary foods for up to 2 years and beyond. This does not change during the COVID times. Early and uninterrupted skin to skin contact, rooming in, and kangaroo mother care also significantly improve neonatal survival and reduce morbidity. Recently, concerns have been raised about whether mothers with COVID 19 can transmit the virus to their infant through breastfeeding. To plan and support breastfeeding within the current pandemic, two areas need to be understood. First, the clinical characteristics of COVID 19 as it applies to breastfeeding, and the protective properties of breastfeeding include the practicing of skin to skin care. Let's first look at the protective properties of breastfeeding. The protective effect of breast milk is particularly strong against infectious diseases due to the direct transfer of antibodies as well as anti-infective factors and long-lasting transfer of immunological competence and memory. The neonate has an immature immune system. Colostrum, the first form of milk by the lactating mother, is a powerful immune booster. It protects infants from infections by means of bioactive factors and secretory immunoglobulin A antibodies. The oligosaccharides which are present in the human milk help to shape the microbiome, provide probiotics, modulate the developing immune system, and also display anti-adhesive effects of bacterial antigens in the infants. All the above are compelling reasons for every infant to receive breast milk from their mothers. The best way to promote successful breastfeeding is to ensure that the mother and the infant is kept together and skin to skin contact is supported and encouraged. The infant's microbiome can develop from mother's flora through skin to skin contact. Skin to skin improves cardiorespiratory stability and significantly reduces stress level in the infants and mothers. Keeping mother and infant together can reduce both stress and even prevent neurodevelopmental disorders in the infant. The smell, touch and voice of the mother naturally calms the infant. However, during breastfeeding, additional precautions must be taken by the lactating mother by simply following the 3 W's. Wear a mask during feeding. Wash hands with soap before and after touching the infant. If soap and water are not available, they can use a hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Finally, wipe and disinfect surfaces regularly. But if the lactating women are severely ill with COVID-19 or suffering from any other complications that prevent them from continuing direct breastfeeding, they can opt to express milk and safely provide breast milk to the infant. However, it is really important to follow some guidelines during the expression of breast milk by the lactating mothers. All equipment used to express milk should be rinsed with cold water, secondly washed with warm water and soap, and thirdly sterilized after each use. A dedicated breast pump must be used and it must not be shared. Frequent hand expression or pumping will help to establish and build milk supply if mother is separated from the newborn in the hospital. Therefore, the lactating woman must pump or feed every 2 to 3 hours, that is at least 8 to 10 times in 24 hours, including at night, especially in the first few days. For more safety, women can express the breast milk in an isolated area. However, if the lactating woman is too unwell to breastfeed or even express breast milk, they should explore the possibility of relactation, that is starting breastfeeding after a gap, wet nursing where another woman will breastfeed the child, or use human milk. Of course, the choice of the mode will entirely depend on cultural practices, acceptability to the woman and family, and also service availability. During all of this period of lactation, nutrition again plays an important role for the health of mother and the infant. However, there is no particular need to modify the usual dietary pattern. It is important that the quantity and frequency of usage of different foods must be increased. Maximum amount of energy, that is about 60%, can be derived from rice, wheat and millets. Cooking oil is again a concentrated source of both energy and polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are quite essential. Good quality proteins coming from milk, fish, meat, poultry and eggs can be consumed. However, a proper combination of cereals, pulses and nuts provide adequate proteins. Minerals and vitamin requirements can be met by consuming a variety of seasonal vegetables, green leafy vegetables, milk and fresh fruits. Bioavailability of iron can be improved by using fermented and sprouted grams and foods rich in vitamin C such as citrus fruits. Milk is the best source of biologically available calcium. Though it is possible to meet the requirements for most of the nutrients through a balanced diet, pregnant or lactating women are advisable to take daily supplements of iron, folic acid, vitamin B and calcium. Calcium is essential both during pregnancy and lactation for proper formation of bones and teeth of the offspring, for secretion of breast milk which is rich in calcium, and to prevent osteoporosis in the mothers. Similarly, iodine intake ensures proper mental health of the growing fetus and infant. Vitamin A is required during lactation to improve child immunity. Beside these nutrients such as vitamin B12, vitamin C need to be taken by the lactating mothers. Additionally, it is important to note that many women experience increased thirst while breastfeeding. However, forcing themselves to drink fluids does not increase the milk supply. Therefore, water must be taken only to satisfy the thirst. Vegetarian diets can be compatible with breastfeeding. If meat is avoided, they should ensure to consume other sources of iron and zinc such as dried beans, nuts, seeds and dairy products. If all animal products are avoided like in a vegan diet, then vitamin B12 supplementation can be taken to make sure that the infant does not develop a B12 deficiency as they get the essential nutrients only from the mother's milk. However, it is important to note that the consumption of oil, salt and sugar must be limited. Alcohol should be completely avoided by the lactating mothers. Other general nutrition tips to the lactating mothers are: stay hydrated, it is very essential. Cut back on salt, that is, limit your salt intake. Also, limit consumption of sugars, avoid trans fats, and consume moderate fats and oils in the diet. Include plenty of fruits and vegetables, and include seasonal fruits and vegetables which is available in the respective seasons. Additionally, it is important to make sure that there must be no promotion of breast milk substitutes, feeding bottles or pacifiers in any part of the facilities providing maternity or newborn care. There should also be no promotion of any of these items by health workers. It is essential to note about mental health of lactating mothers. Various factors can cause major stress during this period. Counseling and psychosocial support is advised. If the mother or the infants have suspected or confirmed COVID-19, seek breastfeeding counseling, basic psychosocial support or practice feeding support. They may get support from appropriately trained healthcare professionals and also community based peer breastfeeding counselors. Also, during this period, family support is important to ensure the lactating mother's emotional support. It is expected from the family to provide help in all aspects to maintain her physical and mental health too. This will ensure the newborn's mental and physical health also. But it is essential to get timely counseling and support during this period. Now let us see about the necessary feeding practices to the young child. As the child grows old, his or her nutritional status needs to be improved. Hence, it is recommended to introduce age appropriate, adequate and safe complementary foods starting from 6 months up to 2 years of age with continued breastfeeding for up to 2 years of age or beyond. Low cost foods can be prepared at home from commonly used ingredients such as cereals like wheat, rice, ragi, jowar, bajra, pulses, various grams and dals can be used, nuts and oil seeds like groundnut, sesame, etc., and oils and sugar or jaggery. Such supplements are easily digested by all the infants. Small quantities at frequent intervals, that is about 3 to 4 times a day, should be given. Also, the food should be of semi-solid consistency for easy swallowing. Few examples of complementary feeds are khichdi or porridge made of ragi, wheat, millet, flour, or kheer with rice, wheat, vermicelli, and also cooked mashed and fruits and vegetables can be given. Ensure to include all types of vegetables such as roots and tubers, green leafy vegetables, and other vegetables in their diet. Introduce them to variety of fruits. It is encouraged to give them seasonal fruits to ensure that they have adequate micronutrient intake. Also, fruits provide soluble fiber, which is essential to young children to achieve good bowel movements. It is important to understand that girls and boys need equal amounts of food. Cleanliness and maintaining adequate hygiene is equally important. Try to sit and eat with the child at meal times. Give food in a separate bowl to make sure he or she gets enough food and eats the correct amount. Timely introduction of a variety of energy rich complementary foods in adequate amounts, in addition to breastfeeding, keeps the baby healthy and nourished. There are some important precautions to be taken while feeding complementary food to the child. Firstly, it is important to always wash hands for 20 to 40 seconds during critical times, such as before preparing and eating food, before feeding infants and young children, after using the toilet, after cleaning the baby's bottom, after blowing nose, coughing or sneezing, after cleaning the house, or after doing any kind of agricultural activities, or after handling livestock or other animals which includes pets in the house. Pets can carry germs and infections that can cause illness to the infant. Some are more dangerous than the others. The most common illness the infants may face is a stomach illness or food poisoning if no proper hygiene is maintained. Therefore, it is essential to ensure sanitization and hand hygiene always. However, in the present COVID 19 conditions, there is no evidence that animals play any role in spreading the virus. Next, it is important to practice food safety. Wearing a mask or a cloth covering face when preparing food. Safe water must be used for drinking and cooking purposes. If safety of the water is not sure, the best solution is to boil the water before use or consumption. Using dedicated and separate eating utensils for those persons who are suspected or confirmed COVID-19 cases is beneficial. These utensils should be cleaned with soap and water after each use. Clean all the pots, dishes, bowls, utensils with soap and water and store them in clean, safe and dry place carefully. Ensure washing and rinsing raw fruits and vegetables well with safe water before cooking and consuming them. Feed the baby using clean hands, his or her own clean bowl and spoon, clean utensils and clean cups. Also, the prepared food should be given to the young child within 2 hours of cooking. Reheat cooked food thoroughly. Reheat the leftovers until steaming hot throughout. Consume the reheated food immediately. Different food items require different type of reheating process. However, do not reheat leftovers more than once. It is essential to practice safe complementary feeding practices also. If any of the family member is recovering from COVID-19, it is especially important to practice safe complementary feeding. Feed the baby from his or her own clean spoon and bowl. Feed the baby with utmost care. He or she must be fed patiently and encouraged to eat rather forcing them. Try to include a variety of foods such as fruits, vegetables, legumes and animal sources like eggs, meat, poultry, organ meat, fish, and dairy products. Do not give foods that are high in sugar, salt, and fat, such as fried foods, sweets, juices, and salted snacks. These foods are not healthy for the child. If the child gets sick, he or she will need extra fluids and foods to recover faster. Breastfeed the child more often and encourage the child to eat soft and appetizing foods during sickness. It is important to know when to seek advice from the health facility. Remember that the child's routine immunizations should be followed. If the child has any of the following symptoms, it indicates immediate care and doctor's consultancy. COVID-19 symptoms including fever, dry cough, and difficulty in breathing, or refusal to eat food or vomiting, which means that the child cannot keep anything inside the system. Diarrhea, that is more than 3 loose stools a day for 2 days or more, and blood in the stool, sunken eyes, any respiratory infection or fever, all malnutrition, that is visible thinness or swelling of the body, should be indicated. Before I could conclude the session, let us quickly have another quiz on this interesting topics. World Health Organization recommends exclusive breastfeeding for the duration of first 3 months of life, first 4 months of life, first 5 months of life, or first 6 months of life. What is the correct option? The correct answer is D, first 6 months of life. Which of the following is not considered important while breastfeeding during COVID-19? Is it A, wearing a mask, or B, washing hands with soap, or C, wiping surfaces, or D, washing clothes? The correct answer is D, washing clothes. The following nutrient is most essential in bones and teeth formation of the offspring. What is the nutrient? Is it zinc, or selenium, or calcium, or iron? The correct option is C, calcium. What does World Health Organization recommends the mothers with suspected or confirmed COVID-19 to do? Be encouraged to initiate and continue breastfeeding, or stop breastfeeding, or slow down breastfeeding, or not initiate breastfeeding at all? The correct option here is A. The mothers are encouraged to initiate and continue breastfeeding with due precautions. Which nutrient is necessary in diets of pregnant women or lactating mothers to ensure proper mental health of the growing fetus and infant? Is it option A, iodine, B, iron, C, selenium, or D, zinc? The correct answer is A, iodine. Which of the following is the best source of biologically available calcium? Is it cereal, or a fruit, or milk, or a vegetable? The best source of biologically available calcium is milk. So the correct option here is C. When should the adequate and safe complementary feeding be started? In the first 3 months of life, first 5 months, first 6 months, or after first year of life? The correct option is C. From 6 months onwards, with continued breastfeeding till 2 years of age. Following is an example of complementary feed. Is it bread or dosa or khichdi or biscuits? The correct option is khichdi. Which foods should not be given to young children as complementary foods? Fried foods or sweets or juices or all of these products? The correct answer is D. All of the above. As all these foods are high in sugar, salt, and fat and not healthy for the child. The statement routine vaccination of the child should be followed during the times of COVID 19. Is it true or false? It is true, and it is important to follow all the routine vaccinations, and they must not be missed during this COVID times. I hope all of you could answer these simple questions. I would like to summarize this session with few points. Pregnant women and lactating mothers must take care of as a special group during this COVID times. In infants, the risk of COVID infection is low, while the consequences of not breastfeeding and separation between mother and child can be significant. The benefits of breastfeeding to prevent infection and promote health and development are especially important when health services are limited. It is recommended that mothers with suspected or confirmed COVID 19 should be encouraged to initiate or continue to breastfeed. Mothers should practice skin to skin contact, especially immediately after birth and during establishment of breastfeeding. Nutrition to the young child is essential in this developing period. Therefore, safe dietary supplements should be practiced among children of age 6 months to 24 months. To conclude, it is important to note that whether a woman is already pregnant or lactating or taking care of an infant, basic precautions of COVID 19 must be followed. With the precautions, adequate nutrition, physical activity, and emotional well being, they can relish these beautiful moments in life and as well perfectly nurture the infant. I hope this lecture gives a comprehensive idea about pregnancy, lactation, and young children during COVID 19. Thank you for your attention. Stay safe and stay healthy.